That '70s show could be considered one of the best TV comedies during its run from 1998 to 2006, lasting 8 seasons as one of Fox's flagship shows. It made us laugh or at certain times cry. It played some of the best songs of that decade, even bringing back some of the stars of the '70s. It had memorable characters, and the show even launched successful careers of most of the cast. Season 8 will always be that season that either should have never been done or should have been a spin-off. While there are surely some laughs here and there, the magic was gone and overall viewership fell. It was the right time to end the series. So what happened? This is because both Topher Grace and Ashton Kutcher were on their way out at the end of Season 7. Ashton was able to finish the first 4 episodes of Season 8 and appear in the finale, but Topher Grace wouldn't show up till the season finale in an uncredited role. The show tried to fill the loss of the lead character Eric Foreman by introducing a new character named Charlie at the end of Season 7. At the Season's 8 premiere, they killed off Charlie, and the season would introduce Randy, played by Josh Myers. Unfortunately, most fans hated Randy to the point that he wasn't even at the Foremans' New Year's party in the series finale. They also tried to fill the loss of Michael Kelso with Leo. Even though he's a fan favorite, it just wasn't enough. What if in an alternate universe, Topher and Ashton agreed to complete all of Season 8 and make it a final farewell season that we deserved, culminating in the end of the 1970s the right way? Let's see what it could look like. Season 7 ends with Red finally catching the kids in the circle. Eric goes to Africa to teach, and Hyde catches Jackie and Kelso in a motel room in Chicago. For Season 8, we will be looking at each character's story arc to complete the season. Fez. Fez finally acknowledges that he is officially divorced with Lori, something that wasn't clear in Season 6. He is introduced to a new character named Samantha, a friend of Donna's who hires him on as a shampoo boy. Instead of Samantha's story as Hyde's stripper wife, Samantha is a love interest for Fez and is his supervisor at work. Samantha grows jealous of many of the girls who meet with Fez. Fez has no interest at all in Jackie anymore. Fez and Samantha in the series finale become a couple, and Fez reveals to Samantha where he actually came from, an unknown island in the East Indies, and hints that he is actually multiracial to keep part of his origins a mystery. We never hear his full name. Red and Kitty Foreman. The Foremans are angry about the circle in the premiere, but Kitty ends up using this kid's stash, which upsets Red. They also finish the menopause running gag, with Red thinking that maybe the stash helped Kitty more than the meds she takes and decided to just ignore it all. Kitty gets a haircut which Red likes, and Red decides that it's time to sell the house and move to Florida by the beach to retire after selling his muffler shop. However, they end up finding a baby boy delivered at their doorstep with a letter they believe is from Lori. As furious as Red is, they end up deciding not to sell the house, but care for their grandson. And Red hopes that hopefully his grandson would be reshaped in his image, unlike Eric. Hyde and Jackie. Hyde at the end of Season 7 went to Las Vegas when he thought Jackie was with Kelso, and we learn in the premiere that he had quit Grooves because of how hurt he was. Hyde is back at the Foremans. Red tells him he's planning to sell the house and thinks Hyde should get a place of his own, and he'll help him find one. Red says he kept all of Hyde's rent money so he could give it to him one day when Hyde was ready to move out. Hyde's father meets him in an earlier episode where we learn his father sold his whole company, including Grooves. Hyde learns he actually owns shares he didn't know about, and Hyde sees the check, and it's an enormous sum of the shares sold, and also includes what was made from the sale of Grooves, which he previously managed and was supposed to go to him anyway. Hyde starts a conspiracy convention business in Kenosha, and we get to even see a car that ran on water at the first show by an inventor. Whether real or not, the inventor actually ends up disappearing. Throughout the show, Hyde used to talk about cars running on water during the circle as a running gag. Hyde buys a condo at the end of the season and moves out of the Foreman's basement. Due to Hyde's newfound wealth, when he finds out about Red's grandson, he opens an account for him with the rent money Red had saved, and Red tells Hyde he is proud of the kind of man he is becoming. Meanwhile, Jackie tells Kelso she will never be with him, ending any chance of a relationship forever. Jackie tells Hyde that nothing happened with Kelso, even though he refuses to believe it. Jackie remains single for most of the season, but tries to fix her relationship with Hyde and tells him that she realized he was his soulmate and Kelso was just her first love and nothing more. Hyde eventually tells Jackie that he was going to propose that day when he found her with Kelso. They eventually make up. Jackie and Hyde decide to move into Hyde's new condo, and Jackie finds out he's rich now, though she never loved him for the money. Even though Jackie says she's willing to wait forever to marry, Hyde proposes to her anyway in the series finale, and she agrees. Kelso. Kelso gets punched in the face by Hyde in the premiere. Kelso pursues Jackie even though he doesn't want to be with her, but once he learns that he can never be with her, he is happy that it's finally over. Kelso, who was kicked off the force, decides to become a security guard at a TV station in Kenosha, while occasionally visiting his daughter Betsy when he gets the chance. The TV station needed to replace their sick weatherman, and Kelso was thrown into that role out of necessity. Apparently, Kelso is so good in front of the camera, the station wants Kelso to co-host a new morning show when the new year arrives. Kelso gets to co-host the Kenosha New Year's Countdown as well. This partially fits Eric's vision of the future in the episode It's a Wonderful Life, where Kelso was seen as a news anchor. Eric and Donna. Eric returns at the season premiere, shocking everyone, including Donna, that he is back from Africa. Eric was chased down by a cheetah and suffered an arm bite that he had to fly back home. Eric says he realized his calling from his short teaching stint and his stay at the hospital there, that he wants to get into medical school. Red says he's too much of a dumbass and that he just can't afford to send him to college even though he sold a muffler shop. Eric says that it's okay because apparently the Africa program had insurance, so he has enough money for at least pre-med. Red's happy about it. Kitty says Eric can't even handle blood, there's just no way he can be a doctor. But Eric says he's seen enough, that blood doesn't scare him anymore. In fact, nothing scares him anymore. Red doesn't believe him and tests him in one episode but fails to scare Eric, and he doesn't get why. Eric throughout the season is more confident than he ever was. We find out in the series finale that Eric saw a whole town of kids taken down by some warlord, which changed him as a person, and that he wasn't bitten but took a bullet in his arm. Red tells him he's sorry what he had to see, that war can really change people, and that whatever Eric wants to do, he'll be there for him. Red says he loves Eric, and Eric shakes his hand, thanking him for that. But you know what? Red hugs him anyway. Meanwhile, Donna is a full-time DJ at the radio station. Donna is impressed by Eric being more confident, but she's not sure about a long-term relationship anymore. Eric tells Donna that he loves her, but that if she wants to break it off, she can because he never wanted to hold her back. They break up, and Donna tries dating other men. In one episode, she has a blind date, and it's with Kelso. Donna is furious, but Kelso tells Donna he had no idea. Kelso and Donna get closer as friends, with Kelso telling Donna that he knows Donna only has her eyes on Eric, and that she needs to make Eric understand that the only person who can hold back Donna is Donna herself. Donna is surprised by Kelso's wise remark. In the series finale, Donna tells Eric that everything she ever did was her decision, that Eric thinking he was the one to hold her back is just not true at all. Eric and Donna make up, but promise each other that they won't think about an engagement or a marriage or even a promise ring for at least another 5 years. In the series finale, the whole cast except Kelso is in Red's living room watching the New Year's countdown with Kelso on TV, who is co-hosting the countdown in Kenosha. Kelso manages to fall off the podium at the 5 count for a laugh, with the cast shouting to 1, and the show goes blank. A special final farewell episode follows the show just as we had originally seen. That 70s show is over. For all we know, in this alternate universe, we get a special reunion episode 10 years later set in the 80s. Wouldn't that be something? What did you think of this alternate Season 8? Is it too much of a happy ending, or were you satisfied with how Season 8 originally happened? Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching In the Plot.